Hey guys, Jules for WhatCulture.com here, and I want to talk to you today about cults. No, not religious cults, the type that Ewan and I escaped from when he was just a baby. Plot twist, I ran it. But I'm talking about cult video games, the ones that might not have tracked so well at the beginning, but have eventually wormed their way into the hearts of millions. So let's take a look at some of the best to turn it around today, shall we? Yes, we shall. So with this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 5 failed video games that turned into cult classics. Sounds pretty bloody lovely, doesn't it? But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 5, Vanquish. Much like the speed in which Vanquish presented its battles, it kind of just came and went before anyone had a chance to look at it, which is a real shame because while it sold less units than Josh Brown's autobiography, My Hairy Mess, aka My Hair, the story, it actually is a brilliant game. In fact, I would go so far as to say that it's one of my favorite games, and you know where this is going, of all time! God, this room is echoey. The thing about Vanquish is that it's so much more than speed and style, and while it didn't rack up the sales that Sega wanted, it had Shinji Mikami at the helm. It was fantastically over the top with its sci-fi premise, and it had a power slide mechanic that sees you slide more lines than I do Donsler Club as my alter ego, the Cocaine Casanova. Over the years, the game has climbed up the ranks in the hush circles that we exist in because it handles action so goddamn well. Even though you're encircled by robots, each shooting hundreds of bullets at you, you can dodge everything and come out on top, looking like a f***ing champ in the process. And it's resulted in a rather slick PC port that I definitely recommend that you pick up. Yes, you, Tony. Number 4, Demon's Souls. Looking at it now, the franchise that contains Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 1 to 3, and the Bloodborne franchise, you don't really associate the word failure with it. In fact, if you were going to throw failure at it, it would be at you for failing to actually beat the game, you schmuck. However, at one point, the higher-ups in Sony deemed this game absolute tosh. They thought it was too hard, too alienating, and ultimately not worth much promotion, yet that's exactly the melting pot for a cult game. And soon the swell of murmurs for the title's favour couldn't be contained. Through word of mouth, this became a sleeper hit, and being the clever little whippets they are, Namco Bandai snatched up the rights and our hearts for years to come. And by that, I mean that they stabbed through our hearts from behind again and again and again. Fix your netcode for Dark Souls 1. Number 3, Nier. You have to commend the bollocks on the developers of Nier because they based their game on an alternative ending to another niche franchise, Drakengard, which, I mean, it's so hipster that even I haven't heard of it. And it came as very little surprise to see that the game flopped in the sales department quite hard. Add to this the fact that the graphics looked about as good as one of your mums after 12 pints, aka still a f***ing moose. That's my one per list. But the plot was utterly baffling as well. However, it began to amass a cult following thanks to its brilliant gameplay and intriguing dynamics like deleting your save. And it gained so much steam that that's why we got the utterly brilliant and identically bonkers sequel, Nier Automata. Automata, potato, go f*** yourself. It's a game that despite all its foibles finally got its day, and one that I and many upskirt enthusiasts got a real kick out of. Number 2, Godhand. This game is brilliant. I won't hear a bad word said about this. I was lucky enough when I was a teen with a much squeakier voice and I was a goddamn lot more oilier to have been lucky enough to have picked this game up, and it was delicious, like a buffet for the eyes and thumbs, I guess. Moving on. Yes, it was the best decision I ever made outside of not watching a Rich Hudson video, I kid Rich, you're a dear. It's Shinji Mikami again, and he'd just come off the enormous success of Resident Evil 4, and so used this momentum to create a budget and unique brawler that was an homage to testosterone and fisting dudes over and over. That came out wrong. Yet the reception wasn't just bad, it was dire, with the game infamously landing a 3 out of 10 rating from IGN. With bad word of mouth, it flopped instantly, and Clover Studios closed its doors soon after. However, this is the issue. I feel that not many people gave it a chance, and yes, the level design is about as bland as wallpaper cereal, but trust me, the combat system more than makes up for this. I mean, it's so over the top, it's got a goofy storyline, you fight ridiculous villains, and, well, you can ding somebody in the nuts as a finisher, just like that. Ow, that bloody hurts. Imagine if that was my nuts. And number 1, Psychonauts. Yes, I'm using the #1 spot to talk about Psychonauts, the little game that could, or technically couldn't and then did, but trust me, it's because there's such an interesting story to tell behind it. Tim Schafer struck out on his own from LucasArts and created Double Fine in the process. He had a tough time of it with developer drama and products selling less units than a dry bar, but finally he put out Psychonauts, one of the best 3D platformers ever, and I will you on that point. But the problem is that the audience took a look at it and just went, wow, that's brilliant. Reviewed really well. Looks great. Rather have a San Andreas clone though, please. Yep, 10 for me. 10 for me and my friends. They didn't buy it, is what I'm trying to get at. And it's a real shame because people just bypassed one of the most charming titles ever made. Yet it's because of the writing, because of the level design, and the entire premise that it began to take hold with the audience, and soon it received a slow but massive support over the next decade. And now we're here, we're finally getting there, with a VR game, I guess, but the official sequel now in development thanks to huge crowdfunding support. So yeah, Psychonauts, you're coming home to the camp, and you're making me pitch a tent in my trousers all over again. It's just weird, actually. I've just realized the game's about kids. Shouldn't say that. Brilliant. Let's end the video there then. And there we have it. Those are 5 failed video games that became cult classics. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. But before you go, maybe you'd like to check out this video that I've done on the wrestling channel, or this video that I've done on the main channel. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. That was really aggressive. You have been awesome though. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Should stop kissing. Probably kids again. Can't do that anymore. Never have done.